Record it. How to do that on your phone? Have you got your mic on? Come out.
Doesn't wake up Sam.
So just recapping, when you're doing your autobiography, you're writing about somebody else. And you're writing to more of a formal standard because you are writing about a famous person. So in your introduction, I want to see things like a person's name, what they're famous for, and then briefly describe their life story. And you're going to do that as a timeline. So I would expect to see dates. Right? So the first date I'd want to see was when he was born. Right? Michael Jackson was born, whatever date that was. You might want to be able to say where he was born. Okay? And that would probably be about enough. When you're briefly describing life story, then the timeline will help you keep it in logical order. So when you're, with the information that you're getting off the internet or whatever you're getting your resource from, then have a look and make sure that all your dates are in the right order. Now the stuff that I gave you the other night, it's not in the right order, so you need to do that, which is why I say cut it, organise it, so it follows a correct timeline. By the time you get down to your conclusion, I would want to see this. Whatever that's about. Okay, and if the person's still alive, of course, then what is he doing now? So, example of how to do this one. I am writing an autobiography about a very famous person named Michael Jackson. In this essay, I will briefly outline or describe his life story. He was born, blah, 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 I'm not sure what the dates are, and he was born where, I'm not sure of that either, but you find that information out according to your one. And that would be enough for your introduction. You want it to be at least 20 to 30 words in your introduction. So overall, you have to write 250 words. The best thing, how many paragraphs are you intending on writing? And you only know that according to your writing plan that you're going to prepare and show me before you start doing your draft. Then what you do is allocate, so if you've got 250 words, example, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs. I'm going to divide it by 6. What's that? Approximately 40 words per paragraph. You see what I mean? Approximately. So once you sort of concentrate here, count the words and write it over here. Alright, on the draft. And that will just help keep you on track. Okay?
Is it okay to also
I wouldn't do anything under 250. The minimum's actually 200. The reason I say 250, it's the middle ground. So that if there are errors, it will still be within, the count. Alright, so it's better to sort of stay in the middle. Don't go over 300. Yeah, no, that's fine. But it says between 200 and 300, eh?
Yeah.
So that's why I say 250, you can't go wrong. Okay? So, all this information you can add into your introduction. At this point here, remembering that if you're writing, for example, my example is Michael Jackson. So, what do I want my teacher to know about Michael Jackson? I'd want her to know what actually made him famous. So I'd probably look at how he, I'd want to talk about how he was a part of the Jackson 5, hey? And from there, he became a solo artist. So I guess for me, this part would be in his early years. He was, as a child, he was part of Jackson 5, and they wrote some pretty famous #1 songs, didn't they? And I also want to say that he belonged to Motown. Motown is, of course, the big agency that connected this all together, so I definitely want to put that in there. By the time I got to paragraph 2, I'm sort of looking, he was famous with Jackson 5, and then he became famous on his own right. Is that right?
Yeah.
He became a solo artist, so I would make that my paragraph 2. And I'm still thinking about timeline as well. So in here, I'm more likely to say in his early years, in paragraph 1. Or I could say as a child. So that tells my teacher I'm looking at when he was quite young. And that's another part of introducing your timeline. By about this point, I'm sort of thinking, alright, so how old is he now? Now, rather than getting confused, I'd be inclined to say, well, here he was born, that's when my first date came up, was when he was born. My second date came up here, because it's showing early years, when. Okay. Then I jump right down to conclusion. And I put the date that he passed away. I just automatically write it in. Then you've got 3 more to play with, eh? So then I'm going to choose what 3 dates would be quite important to talk about between the time he was born to the time he passed away. Okay? At this point, I'll probably start talking about the fact that he was a solo artist. Yeah? Here? Could be his children. He had kids, didn't he? And maybe a bit about the plastic surgery, because that was quite a big thing for him.
Yes.
And then my conclusion would be, whatever I said up here in my introduction, I'm going to read it again and just finish it off. When you do a conclusion, you can't put new information there. New information belongs in this part. Conclusion must be overall, and it could be your opinion. So here I probably would say something personal. He was a really good solo artist. He had lots of records, and I really enjoyed his music. And his music will continue even after his death. Blah blah blah. No new information because I've already said it here. So down here, in the conclusion, you can't put new information that you haven't already talked about here. You know what I mean? So you can't introduce a new topic. New topics stay here. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Alright, very, 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 very good. Any questions before I run a little bit of this off? Alright? The other point that I want to bring to your attention is, you know, what words do we use to connect this to go down? So there's words like, oh, these pens are shocking, aren't they? After that, you know how that just sort of helps you write the next bit? Hey, we can use things like firstly, secondly, come on in. But be careful if you're going to use firstly and secondly, because when you're writing all of this, you don't want to have it firstly, secondly, thirdly, and fourthly. And it sounds monotonous and it's not so good. But you could just use those first two, but then you're right.
Oh, I have to go to pick my baby.
I thought you were going to be here at...
Or because it was raining, so I called my friend. She is outside now. So what we are going to do
Just
today?
keep carrying on with your essay.
Okay.
Good luck.
Okay. So you need it on Sunday or Monday?
I don't need it. You just want to work on it.
Okay.
You've got 3 weeks to do it.
Actually, I made one paragraph.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is something left on Friday.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
next Wednesday we're cooking.
Okay.
You're going to miss out, huh?
Next Friday or Wednesday?
Huh?
Friday or Wednesday?
You see some left on Friday? I'll
Yes.
see you Monday.
Okay. Not Sunday. Night.
Bye, see you tonight.
We have to record
to wake you up,
I'm
guys.
recording him.
Another record.
Just let it keep running, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
So just think about how you can use words to help connect the logical order as you go down the essay, right? What other words do you think you could use sort of to help it move down? After that, and then, could be another example. You could use something like furthermore, we've talked about this before, eh?
Yeah.
Furthermore, moreover, so this is just refreshing you. And finally, because that would be at the end, finally. To conclude would be another one, which is all part of that. Go ahead and write it down, just to help, just to help.
So the consensus.